What's up, guys? I'm Chris Spags here, back with another Four Corners video for today's 13-game MLB slate, courtesy of Awesemo.com. It was a good effort yesterday in our first of these MLB Four Corners videos, but I'm only as strong as the support I get from you guys, so like this video right now, and again, leave me a comment down below, give me your favorite one-off hitter on the night. There's 13 games today, a lot of options out there, so give me your thoughts, like the video right now, comment your favorite one-off hitter down below, and I will announce the winner of our little contest yesterday later in the video. But today, the first corner I want to hit on is a game with the Giants visiting the Nationals. The Giants are implied for 3.3 runs, while the Nationals at home are implied for 4.7. Steven Strasburg today is going to be a chalk option industry-wide, with the Giants egregiously bad versus right-hand pitching, with a slate low .237 on-base percentage and a 37 WRC plus versus right-hand pitchers in 2019. If you're not in the triple digits and you're that underneath them, you're not doing that well to start the year, and the Giants fit that criteria. Strasburg has a 12.5% swinging strike rate and a 34.1% chase rate to start the year, so he's looking pretty good, and really what matters more than that is the Vegas total here, and the Giants just looking awful to start the year, so I'm comfortable going with Strasburg today. I really don't see any reason to not at least match the field on him. And on the other side, I don't hate a Washington stack versus Derek Rodriguez, and a lot of the Nationals were looking good here. Anthony Rendon in particular is a top option with a 568 ISO and a 252 WRC plus over the last 2 weeks. I think Adam Eaton, Juan Soto look good. Brian Dozier seems a bit overowned at 3,700 on DK, but he seems fair as a top owned guy at 2,600 on FanDuel. The pricing there is really what matters. He's hitting close to the top of the order, being surrounded by guys who are good hitters, so I don't mind Dozier on FanDuel, a little bit less inclined to get there on DraftKings and Yahoo. The next corner I want to hit on is a game with the Orioles visiting the Rays. Baltimore gets a 3 implied run total here from Vegas, which is a slate low, while the Rays get 5 implied runs at home. Rays pitcher Tyler Glasnow's ownership is going to be right behind Steven Strasburg today, and he's in a comparably good matchup. The 21.3% K rate for Baltimore versus right-hand pitching is not as good as the matchup for Strasburg versus the Giants, but Glasnow can get there. He might have slightly better stuff than Strasburg depending upon your worldview. I think for the Orioles, guys like Dwight Smith have had big days recently, but there isn't a lot to worry about on the O's side, so I'm comfortable going to Glasnow today. I think in some respects he's as good of a play as Strasburg, maybe slightly better because he's going to be a little bit less owned. The Rays stack on the other side is also pretty interesting, with Dylan Bundy showing some good potential so far, but also the same downsides he's always shown. Bundy's got a 13.6% swinging strike rate and a 37.2% chase rate to start the year. He's also at 12.4 Ks per 9 thus far in 2019, so those are good numbers, but he's had a 10.3% home run rate, also giving up a ton of hits per 9, so that's the Dylan Bundy experience. I don't mind going to guys like Austin Meadow. I think if you stack down to Brandon Lau or Avisail Garcia, they're going to be much less owned. It seems like the top 3 guys for the Rays are picking up most of the ownership, and Brandon Lau's been hitting pretty well. Avisail Garcia also hitting pretty well to start the year, so I don't mind a stack of a bunch of ways of these guys here. It's baseball, so there's a world of variance, but I think with the case of Dylan Bundy, there are some real upsides to going with him and some real upsides to going against him. The next corner I want to hit on is a game with the Angels visiting the Rangers. The Angels get 4.9 implied runs, while the Rangers get 5.6 implied runs at home, which is a slate high. A Texas stack with Shin-Soo Choo, Danny Santana, and Elvis Andrus does appeal to me here with a 395 batting average in the last 14 days. It does feel like a bit of a chase, but the weather is heating up in Texas, and we just saw yesterday, even though Trevor Cahill did limit damage, the bullpen for the Angels has actually been pretty good. Did get shelled down the stretch there, so I don't mind going to Texas here. Barria, though, it is worth noting in his 1-2 inning stint this year has had a 14% swinging strike rate and a 40.7% chase rate. That may come down a bit as he's throwing more innings, throwing more pitches, but I don't think he's going to be in there long enough to have a full day today, so I'm not going to Barria, and I do think the bullpen here may have another tough time with the Rangers. It does feel like a point chase, but I'm willing to match the field there in the hopes that they do have value again, because these guys are hitting well, and the weather is starting to favor the Texas hitting environment. As I expected yesterday, Mike Trout did end up back in the lineup. He had an okay day there, but he's going to be the highest owned position player in fantasy today. He projects for 34% ownership on DraftKings, 30% on FanDuel, 57% on Yahoo. Mike Trout has a 285 ISO versus lefties over the last year, and he's had a 750 ISO over the last 2 weeks, so I have no problem going with Trout here. I think overall the Angels stack is not as appealing today, with them just having a 170 batting average and 66 WRC plus versus lefties so far in 2019. I'm not dying to get to Angels today unless the lineup changes materially before lock, but overall I think Trout's good as a one-off. Getting close to the field seems fine, but I think I'd rather go to some other stacks today, because I do think the spot here versus the Rangers is not quite as good as it may seem, and Mike Minor, not a terrible pitcher on the other side. And again, there are 13 games, so I'll take you around some of the other items I'm looking at so far that seem the most important for how I've looked at lineups thus far today. Shane Bieber looks like he's at a reasonable price with some risk versus Seattle. Same as I talked about yesterday with Trevor Bauer. They are hitting guys pretty well, but Bieber has 16% swinging strike rate and a .67 whip thus far in 2019. The lefties on Seattle like Dan Vogelbach and Jay Bruce can blow him up. Bieber has a 1.56 whip versus lefties compared to a .98 whip versus righties, and that's dating back to last year. So Bieber does have some pretty noteworthy splits, but his stuff has looked good enough to start the year, and it's not a bad run total supporting him. I think you're probably going to see a situation here where Bieber ends up giving up a home run, maybe two, but the strikeout upside's really there for him, and that's what we're looking for. With his price coming down a bit, I don't mind going to Shane Bieber today. A Dodgers stack versus Tyler Mahle interests me quite a bit. Tyler Mahle with a 1.99 whip and a 5.7% home run rate versus lefties. The Dodgers have been mashing right-handed pitching so far in 2019 with a 251 ISO and just a 16.8% K rate. So guys like Jock Peterson, Cody Bellinger, and Max Muncy are all serious threats as long as they're in the lineup tonight. Cody Bellinger did get hurt yesterday, so I'd watch that one closely, closer to lock. But it's a nice spot here going against Tyler Mahle. Even though the Dodgers do have a pitching favoring Park, I think it's a nice spot for them because Mahle is just pretty bad versus lefties, and the Dodgers have been really good versus righties. Jose Quintana gets 3.6 implied runs against him at Miami, and he's had 14.1 Ks per nine to start the year. It's only a 14.3% K rate versus left-hand pitching for Miami so far in 2019, but overall it seems like a nice spot here. Miami is not hitting the ball well at all. Obviously, it is a pitching park environment, so it's going to benefit Quintana as well. And Quintana's strikeout upside's been there, even though he has been giving up some hits and some walks. Quintana, a very volatile pitcher, but the strikeout upside's there, and hopefully Miami will regress a little bit closer to league average, with them being really underneath it for a bad hitting team to start the year. A Royals stack going against Reynaldo Lopez interests me a bit, with Reynaldo Lopez allowing a 7.4% swinging strike rate, a 2.55 whip, and a 14.9 hits per nine number so far in 2019. The Royals have been hitting it well. Ryan O'Hearn, though, is really the best price option because these guys are priced up for their success so far. But guys like Whit Merrifield, Adalberto Mondesi, Alex Gordon, they've all shown a ton of upside so far in tournaments this year. Those guys are all going to combine, be at under 10% ownership. And with Lopez looking so bad, he might be due for some positive regression because he has looked just so bad. But the Royals are hitting well enough where I think they could capitalize on him. So don't mind going to the Royals today against Lopez. And the Twin stack is implied for 5 runs going against Aaron Sanchez at home. Sanchez limits homers pretty well, but lefty hitters could hurt him here. And guys like Max Kepler, Jorge Polanco, and Eddie Rosario are all hitting well with an ISO over 260 to start 2019. So Aaron Sanchez, not a guy who I'm terrified of. He does limit home runs, as I mentioned, but overall the Twins getting a nice run total from Vegas. I don't mind going to them here. So there we go. Those are my thoughts on today's slate. And of course, these things can adapt a little and adjust throughout the day. So tune into Live Before Lock later today. I think it's me and Josh Eagleman scheduled to be on. I will be on at 6 p.m. Eastern. So go check that out on the Osmo YouTube channel. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get everything whenever we go live. And the winner of our little contest yesterday, drum roll please, the first winner of our MLB Four Corners video, this guy right here, Michael Hinman, picking the guy best by far, Christian Yelich, mashing 3 home runs yesterday. He also won a family a puppy who had a bet with their child that they would get him a puppy if Christian Yelich hit a home run. So I guess now they got to get him 3 puppies. It's a lot of puppies, so bad job, Christian Yelich. But great job from a fantasy perspective by you and by Michael Hinman. You did it. You're the boss. And if you want to bask in the warm glow of my spotlight, please like this video right now and leave a comment down below. Give me your guesses who's going to be the best one-off hitter today. Again, 13 games on today's slate. I think 14 on FanDuel, so a lot of options out there. So like the video right now and comment your favorite one-off hitter for a special shout out in tomorrow's Four Corners video. And of course, check the promo code SWITCHANDHEDGE. It'll get half off your first month of any package at Osmo.com. All the ownership projections and rankings for MLB. You could also get an all-sport package, so you're still doing NBA playoff content. I'll have a column there pretty much every day. I'll have one later today, breaking down the playoff slates, NHL, as I mentioned, PGA, MMA, NASCAR, every sport you could possibly want at your fingertips. So use that promo code SWITCHANDHEDGE to get half off your first month on any package. And I'll be back again tomorrow with another Four Corners video, so good luck.